Back to It's All About the Money radio show. Our next guest is Justin Harrison, an author, an influencer, a serial entrepreneur. Justin wears many hats, and we're excited to have him here today to share his insight on business development, financial freedom, and money secrets. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. Good evening to the Vuma listeners. It's always a pleasure to spend time with people in KZN, and we hope that we can educate and enlighten people.
Yes, Justin, thank you so much for being here. Talk to us. You have a lot of responsibilities as an author, influencer. I mean, already right now you walked in here, I'm influencer, I see some dollar signs in your brand and what you're wearing, your apparel. Which role do you enjoy most and why?
Most definitely entrepreneurship. That is my first love. It's what got me everything that I have. And of course the teaching came second. But I love business. I love creating something from nothing. And more importantly, I love providing a place for people to work, a place for people to grow, and supporting families. So entrepreneurship is by far my number one love.
Looking at your profile and your resume, you seem to have a lot of experience in business. And for someone who's listening to us for the first time and hearing, we've got someone who might help us. Justin Harrison is a businessman and an entrepreneur. In your opinion, what makes a successful business practitioner?
Look, I think the first thing is it takes a very specific skill set. And I say this to a lot of people. Business is not for everyone. It's become this popular thing that everybody wants to do. But honestly, it's not for everyone. And you can be just as successful being a really good employee and by saving and doing all things diligently. Being an entrepreneur is really, really tough. But I think the thing that separates successful entrepreneurs from the mediocre entrepreneurs is the fact that they're good at money management. Money management is really, really important. That's why I always say to people, if you want to get into business, make sure you're really good at personal finance. Make sure you're good at managing your own money before you go into managing a business's money. And then I think the other thing is seeing the opportunity in the problems. I think that's what makes an entrepreneur. You've got to fix problems. You've got to be a problem solver. And that is the heart of entrepreneurship.
You've got to see those gaps and close those gaps, obviously, eh?
Absolutely. I mean, you look at South Africa at the moment, we're in a bit of a troubled state with electricity and all the stuff that's going on. But the entrepreneurs will rise up. The entrepreneurs will take us forward. Everything that's going to be solved comes from entrepreneurs.
They will see the gaps. But what are you saying? Are you saying that entrepreneurs they see opportunities despite the challenges?
Absolutely, you have to. I think that is core to being an entrepreneur. I think you've got to look at the problems and go, here is an opportunity. In fact, the number one skill set I teach people going into entrepreneurship is become a problem solver. So you actually want to go looking for the problems.
Yeah. Well, look, talk to us about what does Justin Harrison do and why you're here. And I see dollar signs. When I see dollar signs, I think money in my bank account.
So it's actually a great question. The reason why I have the dollar sign is I'm actually trying to inspire South Africans to focus on going and earning foreign currency for us. We're so focused on fighting each other on this patch of land for the few rands that we've got here. And we're cutting the pie thinner and thinner and thinner. What we need to be doing is bringing means of production here. We've got to be creating something of value to sell to countries overseas so that we bring foreign currency in here. So this is actually an affirmation. When people see this dollar sign, it is about us as brothers and sisters in this country standing shoulder to shoulder. Instead of fighting each other over rands, let's go get some dollars.
Yeah, let's go get some dollars. But you're talking of now a different language. Are you spiritual? You're talking of affirmations.
So affirmations I'm very big on. It is core to every bit of success I've ever had. I'm a big believer in setting your path, your vision, and manifesting that by sitting down and doing visualization, by doing meditation. And, my book, The Money Secret, the very first book I actually wrote, I say that everything you've been taught about money is actually wrong. And the reason why I say this is because we're not taught this stuff about money. We're taught you must go down to the spreadsheet and focus on the numbers, right? But it's actually about fixing ourselves. It's about fixing our hearts. It's about fixing our intent. It's about being conscious about how we spend money, how we consume things, and most importantly, taking emotional control, because that is the key to becoming financially successful.
Would you say that habits and beliefs has a role to play in terms of how we behave in business and managing our money?
I think so. I think if you look at, for example, the Japanese, if you look at the Chinese, the way they're doing business, a lot of it comes from a cultural aspect. They're very good with managing the money that they have. So I think there is a lot of that gets handed down generationally to us. But I think it's important that we also form the habits that are going to change us into the future. And I think this is part of the reason why people need to read, people need to educate themselves, but also, very importantly, be around people who are successful, because that success and those habits rub off on you.
Now, I'm tempted to ask you about your book. I'm left with only 2 minutes, but hopefully you enlighten us. Talk to us about your book that you've written for our listeners to understand. What is it about?
So I wrote the book because I became a millionaire at the age of 21, and I became homeless by the age of...
Say it again.
I became a millionaire at the age of 21.
Bullseye indeed.
Bullseye.
Bullseye.
But I lost everything by the age of 22.
I'm going to say bullseye again there.
And in this journey, I discovered the real truth to money, the real path to money. As a young man, I was trying to flex. I was trying to buy all the nice things.
Don't you all do it?
Of course, you know, this is natural. And so 25 years into this journey, I've discovered that it's really not about the material things. Money is a means to the end, but it's not the end. It's the way you choose to live your life in service of others. It's the value that you add in this world. And most importantly, you are in total control of your life. If you sit down and you make active decisions, if you visualize, if you focus, if you meditate, and most importantly, the way you spend your money and the things you spend your money on. I always say to people, show me where you spend your time, show me where you spend your money, and I'll show you what's important to you. And this is the stuff we don't get taught at school, right?
Indeed. They have it, Canada. And hey, show me where you spend your time. I'll tell you exactly how you're going to spend your money and your career going forward. This is my language, and I'm very much glad to have someone who speaks my language. His name is Justin Harrison. He's an author, an influencer. I'm already influenced. I mean, I'm seeing dollar signs in front of me. In case you're interested, you want to know as to what is it that we're talking about. We're talking about money secrets and financial freedom. Do join us as we continue with this conversation when we come back. All right, welcome back to It's All About the Money. And tonight we have our special guest. His name is Mr. Justin Harrison, an author, influencer, and a serial entrepreneur. Justin wears many hats, and we are excited to have him here today to share his insight on business development, entrepreneurship, financial freedom, and money secrets. In case also you want to ask any questions or comments, feel free to contact us on 065 933 7172. That's your WhatsApp line. It shouldn't be more than 30 seconds, or you can call us directly on 086 1010 300. Justin, I want to keep you here until cows come back home. And I've got so many questions for you. Believe me, you've touched on so many aspects that I believe in. Sometimes people might even believe that or think that you're crazy when you say those affirmations and when you plan your day and focus and pray to those dreams. People don't believe in those things. Just before I ask you the next question, what is your opinion on that?
Look, I know this to be an absolute truth. And in fact, you can just go back in history and go study what Nikola Tesla used to do. He used to believe in this thing called omni trium perfectum, which is all things created are created perfectly in the patterns of 3, 6, and 9, based on quantum physics. And I use this as part of my affirmation routine every day. 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, 9 times at night. I do my affirmations, and I do it religiously, and I've done it for 25 years. But I do want to say, it's not just good enough to do the affirmations. You've got to get off your backside and take action too.
You know what they say? They say prayer without action is dead. So
Exactly.
people, they think that prayer is something separate from affirmations, which is the same.
It's exactly the same thing.
Well, let's zoom into what you do best. What are some of the common money secrets people should be aware of?
You need to spend less than you earn. I mean, this is basic information, right? You're never going to be financially free if you're spending everything that
Justin,
you
you're
earn.
saying you're making it easier. Just spend less than I earn. I mean,
So,
you know what you say? We say the body that works has to earn the money, deserves to enjoy.
You know,
Instant gratification.
that is why we're in the problems we are. And this is where we have to become more conservative. In fact, my golden rule is you should never spend more than 50% of what you earn, and here's why. Your earned income is it's the hardest income to create. The passive income, the invested income, is the easy income to create. But you've got to get the money first to invest the money, right? And so people are out there squandering every opportunity that they have. They're taking their earned income and they're doing this. They're literally just giving it away.
Flashing it.
Flashing it and giving it away.
Club.
I want to take my money and I want to create something with that money. I call money my slave. I want to get as many slaves as possible and deploy them to go do work for me so that I don't have to work. That's the key thing of money.
Sure. Justin, you're making it sound easier. I want to have more on this show for our listeners so that you can be able to extract that information. Now, let's just zoom into the last question. I mean, we don't have much time. Financial independence is something many people strive for, and it can be very difficult to achieve. Help us to understand as to how can I achieve that?
So I think there's only two formulas really to becoming financially free and financially independent. So let's first break down what it is. Financial freedom and independence is when you get to the day where you wake up and you no longer have to work for money. Money works for you. That is the definition of financial freedom. Now there's only two routes to it. You either have to save your way there or you have to earn your way there. And the reality of it is, if you look at this as a statistical fact, the law of probability, there are only so many dollar millionaires in the world, right? So as a statistical fact, most people are not going to get there based on statistics. So the only way for you to get there is by creating passive income. The only way for you to get there is by consistently saving your way there.
Quickly define passive income.
Non-earned income.
Non-earned income.
Non-earned income.
I'm earning a salary,
That's
but
earned income.
I'm getting a rental from my apartment, which was left by my father.
Passive income.
Passive income. I'm earning an income. I'm earning a salary, but sometimes I go and work at night.
It's still earned income. You have
Still
to
earned
trade.
income.
You have to trade time and labor for money. The idea to generate wealth is so that you no longer have to trade time and effort for money.
And we always speak of investing, investing, investing. How do you, in your own understanding, define investing?
Look, I think investing is a very deep subject. It's not something you can unpack quickly. But the bottom line about investing is you have to beat inflation, right, for it to be a good investment. And inflation is not CPI, right? Inflation is what I like to refer to as Woolworths inflation. When you go to Woolworths next year, those items are not 5.1% more expensive. They're 10% more expensive. So investing, whatever the vehicle is, you have to beat inflation for it to be an investment. It also has to preserve capital and it has to have future growth. That is the key to investing. And the vehicle really doesn't matter. Whether it's real estate, whether it's stocks, bonds, it really doesn't matter. As long as you are achieving those goals.
Bullseye indeed, as long as you achieve that goal. I mean, beat inflation, we always say, right now, our target range is between 3 and 6%, right? And if you can try and beat that when you're investing, Harrison is saying, you'll be on your way to success in terms of investing, but then it doesn't matter on which vehicle you're choosing. And it has to be the vehicle that's going to beat inflation.
And I think more importantly, it needs to be something that you understand. I see a lot of people getting scammed on investments. And the reason is because they don't understand what they're invested into. Never put money into something you don't understand. You know, I hear people say, I've put money with a broker. I say, well, where is the money? I don't know. Speak to the broker. You're going to land in trouble. You need to understand what your money is invested in. And if you don't understand, don't invest. You are responsible.
You are responsible. Do not pay a lobola for a woman that you have not even dated. I guess that's what you say. Anyway, in closing, Harrison, talk to us about what you're busy with and what can we expect from you. I mean, if people start interacting with you.
So look, I only just recently got started on social media. In fact, it's nearly a year.
Why not?
Yeah, it's 12 months almost. I've got 450,000 people following me on social media now, which is
only
crazy. Well, we're only just getting started, right? It's year one.
Yeah.
So guys, please follow me on social media, Money Tribe 21. I publish very interesting videos about financial education. I'm trying to inspire people to get out there, to get on their hustle. In fact, you'll see the bracelet on my arm says hustle makes muscle.
Hustle makes muscle.
We're trying to inspire South Africa to get going, to start creating something, and to really band together and figure out how do we go fetch some dollars. We've got to turn the ship around.
KZN, there you have it. How do you go out there and fetch those dollars? That is Justin Harrison. He's an author, influencer, and a serial entrepreneur. If you're joining us for the first time, you've just missed out on that great conversation with him. He has shared with us great insights on business development, financial freedom, and money secrets. If you only want to know about money, come to this show every Monday to Thursday, where we embark on this journey to help you to unpack and to close the gap of financial information. Thank you so much, Brother Justin Harrison.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Well, KZN, that's what you've put together for you, Mr. Zoa Kambata, our producer of the show. In case you have any subject suggestions, comments, do Mr. Noah Potwan with Current Affairs. All right. That was lovely. Thank you so much.